Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This way round up all the big talking points from social media. We're going to start because we've got quite a full folder again. So this from PW Insider. Roman Reigns being advertised for Raw in June was a clerical error, right? By TKO and WWE. These are dates that apparently he was never going to be working. So it's not a case of there being an issue between Roman and the company or an issue with the deal that he signed in the lead up to WrestleMania 42. That coming from PW Insider. We did mention it on yesterday's Raw breakdown because this actually came through. I don't know if it was just before Raw or during Raw, but we did manage to get it into the breakdown. Dave Meltzer has sort of expanded on this as well, right? Roman Reigns was not asked to renegotiate his WWE contract. None of the guys at that level, they're not being asked. It's the guys who, and I'll say it again without mentioning any names, they're the guys who were at a higher level before where they are now. So, like a Miz, right, who has been champion and has been at WrestleMania and involved in big matches on a long kind of contract as well. Has been with WWE a long time. But you wouldn't say he was that level now. I don't think anyone is expecting The Miz to be WWE champion anytime soon, right? I'm not saying The Miz was one. I'm just saying I'm giving an example of someone who had been at a high level and is not at that level anymore. I think that's the best way to put it, says Dave Meltzer. And I agree with this. I mean, to be honest, I didn't think they would ever want to rock the boat with Roman because why would you want to run the risk of losing Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns is an absolute needle mover. He is the biggest star in professional wrestling. And so why would you ever want to rock the boat? So yeah, I didn't think it was that personally. Sources have told Fightful Select that on the day of the mass releases, WWE was approaching numerous talent and asking them to take pay cuts in order to remain with the company. Several of them that we have heard about were just given 2 days to make that decision. A lot of people saying this is exactly what happens with Karrion Kross. We don't know if Karrion was offered a contract at a lower rate. We don't know the pay that was involved. I've never seen that actually come out, the details of that come out. But he was given very, very little time to make a decision about whether he was going to sign a new deal or not. And I remember that whole thing being very, very strange. Well, turns out that was kind of the start of how WWE were going to kind of conduct themselves moving forwards. And that's what's happened here. A lot of people have been told, do you want to take a pay cut to stay with the company? You got 2 days to decide. If not, then we're going to have to part ways. So obviously we saw New Day leave him. And I do find myself wondering if that's what happened with Kairi Sane as well. So, yeah, lots of information out there. Jane Beans, thank you. TKO is asking multiple talents to restructure their contracts based on what they view as talent rate of production versus what they are being paid. It's also claimed that TKO is attempting to maximize revenue due to the company still being in debt. So that from Body Slam Net. Now, I believe in order to purchase WWE and purchase UFC, Endeavor, TKO had to borrow money to actually make the purchase. And so they're trying to pay that back, of course. This is pretty standard. The exact same thing happened with Manchester United. The people that bought them didn't have the money to buy them. They had to borrow the money and then pay it back, right? That debt on Man United is still there. There's some that are speculating. I'm not sure how true this is, but there are some that are speculating the reason for these pay cuts and all the releases is because TKO is trying to maximize the amount of money they are making so that they can pay off that debt. So, interesting. Could be something to that. Next up from Fightful Select, I mean, there's so much on this topic, right? Sources in the talent and agent communities have said that this round of cuts and pay reductions is expected to significantly impact how wrestlers negotiate with TKO and WWE going forwards, with little confidence that major long-term deals will be honored for their full duration. I mean, I think that's wise. I think if you sign a contract with WWE, how can you have any confidence that that contract means anything? I mean, at any point they can come to you and ask for you to take a pay cut, or they're going to release you, or just release you due to budget cuts. Again, don't forget, you know, this is a company that is making a lot of money, right? I mean, they just had a very successful WrestleMania financially, and we've got numbers as to what the executives are earning as well. So, Ryder, thank you. This coming from Brandon Thurston. So Ari Emanuel in 2024, he made 18 million, but in 2025 he made 67 million. So the amount of money that he made drastically increased over the past 12 months. Same with TKO president Mark Shapiro. He was earning 32 million. It's gone up to 43 million. Nick Khan, the WWE CEO, he went from 6 million to 24 million. And then we've got Andrew CFO, TKO CFO, Andrew Scheimer, not a name I'm familiar with. He's gone from 8 million to 23 million. So we've got a 272% increase, 33%, 304%, 198%. So, you know, their personal wealth has drastically increased. But obviously we're seeing all this drama, all this pain when it comes to talent being let go. I think part of the truth is as well, though, there's only so many places on a WWE roster. It is worth mentioning that. Like, you can't just keep adding and adding and adding and just keep everybody, because there's only so much TV time. So part of it is we do need to say goodbye to some people if we're bringing people in, because otherwise they're just going to be sat around in catering. You know, they're not going to be able to get any TV time. So there is more to it than just financial. But yeah, it's pretty moody, isn't it? When you think of all the heartache that people are having to take pay cuts as well. You know, they're taking hits, but their money's increasing. It's just a dirty world, isn't it? The business world, a dirty world. Right, WWE is reportedly trying to retain Xavier Woods by signing him to a contract similar to Tyler Breeze. I've heard this from a lot of people this weekend. I do believe WWE is trying to retain Woods, as it was referred to repeatedly as the Tyler Breeze deal, which is basically he gets paid money to do stuff for the video game. I don't know if he'll accept the offer. I don't know what's going on in his head, but he might. So it's not a foregone conclusion that both of New Day are going to go to AEW. It's likely going to happen, I would say. But there are things being done where WWE is trying to retain him for other things. I'm guessing this is probably they want him for up, up, down, down. And they want him because of his connections with 2K and the video game. And they probably see some value in that. But I don't know. I'd be very surprised if he signed that, because if he signed that, there's no way he'd be able to go and work for AEW or go and wrestle anywhere else. Maybe he might be able to negotiate wrestling for TNA, because WWE have got a partnership with TNA. So he might be able to wrestle in TNA and also get the contract for the video game thing. But I don't know. It seems like he's going to have some decisions to make there. We've actually heard from Kofi and Xavier. We did read this. I'm going to read it again because Kofi and Xavier, they were so loved that I think it's worth just reading this. This is Kofi. He said, "It's taken me 2 full days to respond to all the texts. I haven't been on social media until today, and I'm overwhelmed by all the messages here. So much love. So I can't help but be filled completely with gratitudes. My story has been nothing short of remarkable, and I am truly blessed to have had such an illustrious, accolade-laden, and most importantly, fun-filled career. I made my childhood dream become the most wonderful reality. Throughout this journey, I'm so thankful to have been surrounded by great friends and to have built so many unbreakable connections with people that I'm very proud to call my family. Most people go through life without ever experiencing a love like I have for Woods and E. That bond alone would have made this whole experience worth it. There are far too many people to mention by name here, but to everyone who has ever supported me, guided me, helped me, taught me, cheered for me, praised me, stood up for me, and even rooted against me, thank you. I appreciate you more than words can say. My main mission has always been a simple one, to provide a comfortable life filled with heartwarming memories for my family, and largely in part to all of you. I can proudly say I have achieved that goal and more. This wasn't supposed to be a novel, so let me wind down by giving some advice. Do your best to live a life without regrets. Control what you can control. Always give it your all and fight hard for what you believe in. Do not ever compromise or accept less than your due when it comes to your worth. Find the courage to believe in yourself and fearlessly pursue your goals and dreams, because anything is possible. The kid that was too small, short, skinny, and scrawny was never supposed to make it in this land of giants, yet here we are. And so, as the sun sets on one chapter, so too must it rise on another. Tomorrow is indeed a new day. So that was Kofi. We need to hear from Xavier. For the past 16 years, WWE has been my home. It's where I grew up, found myself, failed, learned, and got to live out things the younger version of me could only dream about. When I first walked into FCW, which was developmental before NXT, I just wanted a chance to prove I belonged and to bring something different to professional wrestling. That chance became a life full of moments I'll carry with me forever. WrestleMania, championships, King of the Ring, arenas around the world, and the gift of connecting with all of you by being myself. The New Day gave me a bond with Kofi and Big E that I'll cherish for life. You believed in us, even when our ideas were wild, and because of that, we got to show people that being unapologetically yourself is a strength. Up, Up, Down, Down became another piece of that same mission, a place for joy, friendship, and humanity. I'm so thankful to everyone, past and present, who helped build it brick by brick. To the locker room, producers, trainers, crew, camera teams, ring crew, everyone behind the scenes, and the props department, thank you. WWE has the most special and hardest working props department that you'll ever find. Love you guys, and none of this happens without you. And to everyone who has been a part of this ride, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for letting me be Xavier Woods. And thank you for giving me the confidence to walk away as Austin Creed. So there we go. We have actually heard from Kevin Owens as well. Fantastic wrestler, an even better human being. Same can be said for Woods. Thank you guys for allowing me to join you guys for that 1 week. And seriously, I'm so sorry for turning on you. So that was Kevin Owens responding to Kofi, but showing some love to Xavier as well. I wanted to just read this because I'm not going to read all of it, don't worry, but this is Alan Cheapshot, who is a wrestling historian. Look at all this. I have, I'm not reading it all, don't worry. I have retweeted it, but it's actually really interesting. So Alan Cheapshot says, the WWE pay cut story is not best understood as a morality play about greed or a simple test of whether talent should walk away. It is a story about bargaining power. Who has it, who thinks they have it, and who discovers the contract was not the real protection. Reports say a number of WWE people have been asked to accept cuts, with one pretty majorly pushed talent reportedly being asked to take a 50% pay cut, right? New Day reportedly declined the restructure and left. Others accepted the reduced terms. Roman Reigns level names were not being asked. The pressure seems to fall on the expensive middle. Known enough to cost money, but not central enough to be protected. That is the most vulnerable place in wrestling. You can have name value, merch history, goodwill, and years of useful service, yet still be told that the company's current plans no longer justify the money that it promised you when your leverage was stronger. There is a reasonable business case hiding inside uglier optics. A contract signed when someone was hotter, better featured, or more useful can look expensive later. Serious companies reassess cost. The question to ask, though, who created the drop in value? It's really interesting. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, what Alan Cheapshot is saying there is, if you're in the middle where, you've been around for a long time, like a Dolph Ziggler was, like a Kofi Kingston, like a Miz, been around a long time, you were red hot at one point, maybe not as hot now. That's a dangerous place to be because you're probably going to be on a decent wage and, you maybe not warranting that wage now because you're not as hot as you used to be. And, Alan Cheapshot's saying that's a very dangerous place to be, but who was it that created that drop in value? Was it the talent or was it WWE Creative? And honestly, I think a lot of us would probably be looking at WWE Creative saying that it's not the talent's fault that they're not being showcased as much anymore. The company tends to look to those newer stars that have just joined. And so the older stars certainly get more and more pushed to the sidelines. So there we go. I mean, I thought that was interesting. As I said, I'm not going to read all of it. He does go into other things. I have retweeted it. It's definitely worth a read. But I mean, you can see we've just spent so long talking about all of this. I mean, it is absolutely everywhere. It really is the talk of the town at the moment. And it's at this time that WWE have decided to have Joe Hendry sing a song about can we fire Logan Paul and sort of make a joke out of it, right? Now, I don't like Logan, but this whole thing to me is just this is not the right time for this kind of a thing because there's a lot of conversations going on where talent have took pay cuts. It's kind of sick in a way if you think about it. We've kind of let a load of people go. We're asking a load of people to take pay cuts. This won't be Joe's idea. Joe didn't come up to the main roster and go, oh, do you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to sing a song about firing someone. This is going to have come from WWE Creative. They've decided now, of all the times, now is the time to sing a song about firing a WWE talent. When we're doing all of this at the moment, it's pretty crazy to me. It's pretty crazy to me. I mean, part of me wonders what the reason is. I think the reason they're doing it now is because we have just done all of these releases. And what it allows Logan to do is to basically say, stop saying they're going to fire me. I'm unfireable. They can't fire me. Yeah, that would be bad for business. They are actually using the releases as kind of part of a story. So we've got rid of all these people and we've got Joe saying we should let go of Logan, and that allows Logan to go, they can't. I'm too good for this company, to try and get more heat onto Logan. So yeah, I don't know. They've released a music video. None of this is for me. I think the timing of this is pretty appalling, to be honest. Trying to use the releases in a storyline. But I don't know. People aren't really thinking about it that way. I think the reason I think about it that way is because my timeline is just flooded with... I mean, we've spent nearly 20 minutes talking about all of this. This really is where the conversation is at the moment. So, a lot of my day is about reading about pay cuts and, talent releases, stuff like that. So I think that's why this probably doesn't land with me the same way it lands with quite a few other people. So, Black Ice, thank you. Okay, moving on to other news, because we do have other bits that we need to get our teeth into. So the matches at Backlash that are going to be in that first hour may be a little surprising. It's Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn, and it's Seth versus Braun. They're going to be the two matches that go down in that first hour. I really thought Danhausen and the Mystery Person would be in that first hour. Because Danhausen's really popular, it would make sense to put him on TV so that people can see him, put him on ESPN2. And I think that's going to be a really good partner. CM Punk, Obafemi, I think it's going to be a decent name. So, yeah, I'm a bit surprised we're not putting that in the first hour. I don't really get the benefit of Trick Sammy unless we're trying to get exposure for Trick. We used the hour at WrestleMania to showcase Oba. Perhaps now we're trying to showcase Trick. Perhaps we're trying to showcase Braun. Perhaps that's the thinking. There's a reason why you would put these matches on ESPN2. There is going to be some sort of logic and thought process trying to understand what that is. I think it's quite interesting. So I wonder if it is to showcase these two rising stars. So there we go. We got a bit of an update on that. LA Knight was going to have a short program with Gunther. Actually, we heard rumors about LA Knight Gunther before WWE had pivoted to Gunther challenging Cody. It's currently unknown what LA Knight's creative direction will be now, but he is still with the company. So that coming from Body Slam Net. So changes in the program with LA Knight. This was quite a shock. This was quite a surprise. Chelsea has shared that she has had a heart procedure done after doctors caught her SVT. Best wishes and a speedy recovery to Chelsea. So after 10 years, doctors have finally caught my SVT, and I was able to get a heart procedure done 2 hours later, and I'm on the mend. We've got some more details about this, right? So after 10 years of dealing with it, we finally caught my SVT. My latest episode during WrestleMania pushed my resting heart rate to 228 for almost 15 minutes. Yesterday, the doctor spent 3 hours working on me, and I had to be awake for the last hour of the procedure. Thankfully, it was minimally invasive, and I will be back to work very soon. So it's all to do with your heart rate. Her resting heart rate when she's not being active was going crazy, 228, I guess that's like beats a minute, for almost 15 minutes. And this is something she's been dealing with for a little while. So clearly something needs to be looked at there. And yeah, crazy. Apparently that went down over WrestleMania weekend that they caught that. And she had the procedure for it just the other day. So wishing Chelsea a very speedy recovery. WWE stance on bringing back NXT UK, no plans. Apparently right now it just doesn't align with the TKO sort of value. They are not looking to spend loads of money on another brand and relaunch NXT UK. It's just not what they're looking at right now. Obviously they're looking at pay cuts and releases, and they're trying to streamline. Doesn't really make sense to kind of bring this on board at this stage. So no plans, no word, no one has heard anything about NXT Europe or NXT UK. It seems like all of that stuff is just on hold, is probably the best way to put it. Roman Reigns is going to be at Clash in Italy. So it doesn't look like he's going to be at Saturday night's main event, but they have put out his schedule, and it looks like he is going to be at Clash in Italy. So this is kind of what we expected. We were expecting it to be a case that he would be at Backlash, and then he would feature later in the month at Clash in Italy. I would be surprised, personally, if he wasn't there. But at least we've got word that he will definitely be there. We know he's not going to be around in June. As we said at the start of this video, he was never meant to be. It was just a mistake that got made. And yeah, I don't know. That could be a big show. I mean, I'm guessing Jacob is still going to be involved, because it's going to be hard to see Roman kind of move on to someone else in time for that. Not impossible. I mean, it could happen, but I think it's probably more likely that, considering there's only 3 Raws between Backlash and Clash in Italy, it's probably more likely that this story continues through to Clash in Italy. So it's going to be very interesting. One of the interesting things at Backlash this weekend is going to be what happens after Roman Jacob, what happens after the match, because I don't think whatever happens there, I think, has got to connect with that. So yeah, interesting. Okay, inside the writing schedule. Oh, this was just kind of interesting. This was a writer just sort of laying out what they do in regards to writing for NXT. So Colby Applegate, who has been recently promoted to the NXT writing team, broke down how the schedule works, and it's more structured than people would expect. He explains that everything starts mid-week with long creative sessions to map out the next episode. So the writers come in on a Wednesday. That's our primary creative day, where we just go through stories and we put scripts together for the following week. We usually spend 8 to 9 hours doing that. The work continues into Thursday, where the team locks things in and starts to think ahead. By Friday, it's all about tightening things up with specific segments. So on Thursday, we finish the script, we start looking at future stories, we start planning for the next week. We write our segments and stuff on Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, really getting the script locked down. Friday is just really getting into specifics. Monday, we come in and it's kind of our pre-production day. It's like a table read. Then we make sure we record everything, making any last-minute changes. Tuesday is show day, when we just spend all day filming our backstage segments. Then the show goes live at 8 p.m. on CW, and then we do it all again the very next week. So there you go. You can see how much work goes into each episode. They really are spending quite a bit of time just digging into fleshing out each episode. It's not like these things get thrown together last minute. They're doing work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Doesn't sound like they do anything Saturday, Sunday. Come back Monday to really get it like planned out, camera angles and all of that. And then boom, they go live on Tuesday. Okay, The Rock at the Met Gala. There's loads of fake pictures of wrestlers at the Met Gala, like Seth and Becky and people like that. They weren't there. They were at Raw. So there's lots of fake ones, but The Rock was there. And I got to be honest, one of the things that jumped out to me with his watch, we actually looked at this on the Raw stream, and I was like, man, you know that watch is serious, right? That's not going to be like costume jewelry. That's going to be serious. Seems like someone else had the same thought, because here's Body Slam Net, who also noticed the watch and found it, and found it was $3.3 million. That's how much it was worth. $3.3 million. That is a serious piece, isn't it? I'm sure that wasn't cheap either, but $3.3 million. Pete Dunne is going to face Leon Cage at Attack Pro Wrestling on June 19th in Cardiff. So there we go. If you are in the local area, then you could go and see Pete Dunne, which would be exciting. There's a new belt. It's not official WWE. It's just a bit of fun, but it is the Florida Chronicles Mini Golf Championship. So it looks like Nathan Frazier probably goes out with some of his friends, maybe people we know from the PC. There's obviously lots of mini golf courses in Orlando, and so looks like they play them and they've made their own little championship. So there we go. Nathan Frazier looks to be the reigning champion. I just thought that was pretty fun, to be honest. Something else that is fun is Sol Ruca has got a new nickname from Becky. Let's check in with Becky, shall we? As she kind of lets us know where her head's at following Raw.
Did you say her name is Sol Ruca? Is that Sol Ruca? Well, she makes me want to puke, okay? Attacking me out of nowhere for doing nothing, absolutely nothing. I went out there to have a very civil conversation with my good friend Adam Pearce, who, by the way, I would never harm in any way, ever. No, I've never said a bad word against Adam Pearce. I respect him immeasurably. I was actually just reaching. I was trying to reach. I'm very strong. Sometimes I don't know my own trick, but I was trying to reach to see that contract, because sometimes there can be hidden things in the contract. You want to make sure that she's not getting a title shot or something, you know, like somebody snuck that in, a little favor from NXT. And now I'm in hot water with Pearce, which I would never. We've always just had such a great relationship, so I'm very upset about it.
There we go. She's very upset about it. Someone else that's upset. Rhea Ripley responded, kick her ass. So that is the after effect of EO getting misted. This is pretty random and weird. That is Lyra Valkyria's partner, right? So that's Lyra Valkyria's partner. That is Bayley's mom, right? What the hell, Bayley? Come get your mom. Right, and then there she's tagged in her partner as well, LJ Cleary, and she's gone, do you know what I mean? What's going on here, right? And Bayley's like, I don't know, he doesn't seem to mind. How crazy is that? So we've got Bayley and Lyra, but we've also got Bayley's mom and Lyra's partner. Like, these two families are really coming together in many different ways. So there we go. Very, very, very strange, but also very entertaining. Roman spoke after Raw, obviously the Tongan death grip, all of that. So this is what he said. Saturday at Backlash will not look like this, I promise you. I've busted my ass for far too long. I've held my ground in this company for too long, and I ain't letting it go just yet. In Tampa, that's where we've got to hold it down. But here in Omaha, this is where we realize what has to happen. At Backlash, I'm whooping Jacob's ass. At Backlash, it's and still. At Backlash, you're looking at the head of the table, and the tribal chief above all. So that's what he said to the crowds after Raw, just giving them a bit of a we know what we need to do type speech, rah-rah type speech, as Jacob Roman collide this weekend. And the final thing we've got, Johnny, thank you. Did JD tickle her? So
Siri.
Here, I don't know who that was. Was that JD or was that Roxanne? I'm not sure. Someone standing back there. Does seem, I don't know what's going on there. It is a little tickle under the arm, isn't it? I think Liv and Dominic both noticed it. I didn't notice it. But I don't know if that's JD. I think it is JD, you know. I think it is JD McDonough. That does strike me as wildly inappropriate. I mean, maybe if it were... I don't know how much she appreciated it, man. She does give a little smile, but there we go. Just trying to maybe put her off. Just pranking her whilst live on air. I didn't even notice this, to be honest. So there we go. Right, and that was today's Unseen. Johnny, thank you. Appreciate everyone, obviously, joining us for this. We'll be back again tomorrow. We're back later with our NXT watch-along. There's just so much happening at the moment. And, of course, we're back this weekend for Backlash as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.